Hi everyone and welcome to my desk. Today I'll be going over my 4 methods, 3, 4, I think you could count it as, no, it's 3, yeah. I'm going to be going over my 3 methods of organization and planning for my school and just sometimes generally in life as well, but I use these mostly for school. So starting off, I have my physical planners and I also have my digital planners. I have 2 types of digital planners that I use. I use Notion and I also use this thing called Life at Spaces. It's very helpful, has helped me quite a bit in managing my work over the past 4 years, especially in high school, which was when I relatively found Life at first. I started using physical planners first, obviously, but I also was simultaneously using Life at. Although I wasn't using these 2 planners in particular, I had other planners that were older. But if you guys want a video, I might go through my old planners and show you guys the insanity that was inside them. But for now, we're gonna focus on our current planners. So since this is the last year of my high school years, I wanted to show you guys how my planner spread has kind of evolved to fit my needs the most. And I think this is the best system of planners I've had so far. It's very efficient, and even when I fall behind in my coursework because I am always sick and stuff due to chronic pain, and I'm not able to work sometimes for months at a time, like for example this year, January, I was not able to work at all. So I'm still kind of catching up on that. You guys will see a video of me doing a catch-up, like productive study vlog type of thing. That will be coming out too, which I'll be recording after this. But yeah, let's get started on this one. So these 2 are planners that I use simultaneously. This one is more so just like a gridded notebook. The interesting thing about this is I got this from Daiso, and this is 2-sided. So one side is lined and the other side is dotted. I don't use the dot side mostly, I do just use the line side mostly. And I use this for what I like to call my trenches. When I'm in my trenches of work, I use this because it's much easier to list out a bunch of work in this because there's no structure in it at all. It's just a notebook. So I can really just customize it to whatever I need that day, like particularly. Let me show you guys one from last year that I was particularly proud of. As you can see, I do customize it a lot. There are post-it notes, there's a bunch of things in here. Let's see, this is something else entirely. So this was during December, most of these. That was when I had entered the trenches for the 2024 year. As you can see, they get more simple as time goes on because I really just don't have the time. But as you can see, this was one day I was particularly proud of. This was an all-nighter I had pulled on Thursday night, going into Friday morning, I think until like 7 a.m. in the morning. Or, yeah, I think 7 a.m. is a good thing. I fell asleep at 7 a.m. in the morning, I think. So yeah, I was doing a lot of work that day. I did around like 27 assignments, or around a total of 31 assignments once I woke back up on Friday combined as well, but just on Thursday it was like 27. So yeah, that was a pretty proud day for me. Honestly, I'm extremely proud of myself for last semester. Last semester I got all A's, which I didn't think was gonna happen because I was very rushed in my final, like, what's it called? In taking my finals, especially because I thought I had a lot longer to take them than I actually did. I currently study at a hybrid school that is more focused on asynchronous learning. Like, we do have due dates, but none of them are hard due dates until the last deadlines, aka the end of the semester deadlines that we have for both our coursework and for our finals. They're kind of separate. Okay, I always forget about this part. I'll have to blur that part out, but that's just my name that I'm blurring out. Okay, let me open this one. Okay. As you can see, a lot different. But yeah, so I was pretty proud of myself last semester, and I think a big part in me being able to do that is not just my planner, but also just like, actually no, my planner was actually also a really crucial part because this planning system really helped me get everything together this time and actually visualize how many things I had to do and by what date I had to do them, because I also have a calendar. In the past I used to have a physical calendar that I used, but now I just use Notion. Anyways, this is my trenches planner, as I mentioned earlier, and this is my regular planner. This is the one we got from our school, and usually I don't like school planners at all, like the ones that they give us, but I think I really like this one. It's very customizable, but still has a lot of structure to it that you would expect from like a high school planner. And honestly, I really like how simple and minimalistic it is. You can really just decide what type of aesthetic or like whatever type of theme that you want for these. Usually, especially in all the older planners I had to like, what's it called? There were like themes that were put in here that I didn't really like. But in this one, I get to choose everything and how it's structured, which is really awesome. So yeah, I always have the same order. First is always English. Then it's either government or econ. For first semester it was government, but now it's econ. And then it's my physics, and then finally algebra 2 trig. So yeah. Let's see, this is the first day of school, guys. August 14th. As you can see, I was really trying to do a lot on the first day. Oh yeah, there we go. This is much easier for you guys to see the weekly spread. As usual, it goes from Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday are like, here, let me see if I have one that isn't covered up so you guys can see. Okay, yeah, here we go. So most of these have around, I think, 7. Yeah, they have 7 rows of like subjects for you to fill out. And then for Saturday, there's only around 6, which I don't really mind. Sometimes it does be like, sometimes it is kind of annoying, but I only have 4 subjects, so it doesn't really matter to me that much most of the time, so I'm not too mad at it. But as you can see, I do customize it a lot. I cut out and put things in here to, you know, switch things out. I have ordered the amount of, like, the order of subjects I wanted to work on that day. And as you can see, these 2 days I wasn't working as much, so I just had to cross those out. And yeah, honestly, looking back at this is really rewarding because you could see how much like planning and dedication went into this planner, which makes it really awesome to look at, honestly. But yeah, some of the stuff, like, do you guys see some of the stuff? Yeah. Let me see if there was a day where I did a lot of work, because I know there were some days in here that I did a lot of work. So, yeah, and then other days were more empty because I didn't plan as much. Well, no, I shouldn't say days, I should say weeks. Yeah. And then there's a pull-out section here where I had a bunch of the subjects listed out and put in. That was fun. Oh, this was also for November. Yeah. I think this was around the time I decided to switch. Yeah. This was around the time I decided to switch back into my trenches planner. As you can see, it ends at December. And then we start again in this year. Now this year has been incredibly rough just because I haven't been able to go to school. So I've been planning a bunch of stuff to do, but actually not being able to do a lot of it. I think the most successful day I've had so far has had to be like last week when I was like finishing around, no, not last week, this week actually, where I finished a bunch more assignments. This is 8 assignments and this is 6. I'm not gonna go through my assignment breakdown, but it is a little bit different than say like a synchronous school or like regular school. So, you know, take with that information what you will. But they are still like, I'm not gonna get into it because if I get into it, I'll just be rambling on and on about that, and I don't have that time, and I don't think you guys have that time either. So this is the last day that I updated on. As you can see, today is Wednesday the 19th, and I have finished some stuff. I just haven't crossed it out yet because I'm waiting to do like a big crossing out. Usually I would just cross them out as I was finishing things, but today I didn't feel like that, so I'm just letting it be. So yeah, that's this planner, and now I'm going to shift to my computer camera so you guys can see my virtual planners. So this is my Notion calendar that I use. It's very helpful for me. And let me just go back to one from 2024 so you guys can see how it would usually work out. So this one is for November, and as you can see, I have all the assignments that I have to do listed by due date. So yeah. And as the due dates are complete, I just changed the icons for each of these into check marks, as you can see here. And some of these are more like announcements rather than assignments, which I also have in here, like for Thanksgiving break, the deadlines for my coursework, and then the last day of school, stuff like that, general stuff. Then let's see. This was for December. Okay, so this was the last day of school and finals, and as you can see, this is going into January here. So yeah. Honestly, this really does save my butt when it is time to like visualize my assignments. I have actually filled in all my English stuff and all my like semester stuff already because they were all the due dates were given to me ahead of time. So for other classes I didn't have that, so I didn't put those in. And now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my Life at Spaces. So let me just quickly open that. Okay, let me switch it over to one of my favorite. Okay, and this is the Life at Spaces I use. I use the free version both for Notion and for Life at. I just don't see the purpose in buying the full version, although it could be very helpful for certain individuals. I find that the free version is just good enough for me, so I don't bother with buying the paid versions or the pro versions. I don't even know what they're called. But yeah, as you can see, these are all the breakdowns for my assignments, and I guess I can go into some depth of how I break down my assignments here. So as you can see, this is the main lesson, and in each lesson, especially in math, we have a bunch of subsections in each lesson. It's kind of like how you would have like a history book and you would open up to one unit, and each unit has like a section or like a lesson, and each of those lessons has like mini assignments within them that your teacher would give you. It's kind of similar to that. The breakdowns can be anywhere from 3 per lesson / section to 5 in especially in math and econ. There's around like 5 or 4 things I have to complete for each lesson in a unit. But yeah, we usually have the tutorials, which are like the presentation slides that have all the content for us to learn about. Then we have our notes that they provide. Either they provide guided notes for us to use, or we take our own notes. And then we have the practice, which is just about like around 5 questions that they'll ask you in order to like see, in order for you to see if you got a grasp of the concepts. And then you have your mastery test, and then my math teacher wants us to like record a few of the questions from the mastery test that we either found difficult or want to remember, or just like generally. So at least 2, which is why I just added as a separate thing, because these checks it usually as a separate thing on its own, along with the section. So yeah, that's broken down like that. I haven't updated this. Honestly, this is not all the work I have to do. I have to do way more, but currently I only have like 35 and I finished 5 of them. And yeah, so each of these sections can take me anywhere from, all of these combined can take me anywhere from an hour and 30 minutes to even 2 hours and 30 minutes. It really depends on the content and how many slides there are. For example, in an old finance class I had in my hybrid school, where, you know, my school is a hybrid school where I go in person and offline as well. So yeah. I think it was in 11th grade, yes. In 11th grade, I had a finance course that had a bunch of slides in it. I think the highest slide count I ever got was around 62 or 65. It could have even gone up to 70, or like was close to 70 if I rounded it up. I don't really quite remember, but I know it was in the 60 to 70s range. It didn't go above 70 though, it was like 60 to 70. I think that was the highest count I ever got. But on average, that course in general had a lot of presentation slides. They were trying to cram a bunch of information into relatively not that many units, so they really packed it in there heavily. So yeah, that was kind of how my coursework works. So yeah, this is how I use my 3 systems of organization. This may seem like a lot, but I usually update these in bulk. Like as you can see with my Notion and with my Life at, I usually update these in bulk. And then for my daily planner, which is my physical planners, I just update them either daily or weekly, depending on which one I'm using. If I'm using the trenches one, I'll just cross out which ones that I finished. And I don't always want to make a new one. Sometimes I get lazy and just stick with the old one and just say in a different color that this is for this day or whatever. It also helps me keep track of how much work I'm doing, since I always am working. Like, it's genuinely so bad these days. basically all of high school, I've just been constantly grinding out work. And after a while, it does take a toll on you. So this is very, very helpful for me, especially during this second semester of high school where I'm super stressed out. I have so many things to do. So these are definitely a lifesaver, and I hope you guys check out either Notion, LifeAt, or just adopt some of these techniques into your own study routine. If you guys want, I'll drop another video discussing like my most helpful tricks and tips that I've used in my high school. I'm not gonna say career, but I guess you could say career. It's not actually a career. But over the course of my high school years, I'll share what I learned has worked the best for me, aside from this just one planning technique. I know this can be overboard for some people, so if you guys are just going to take away one thing, I would heavily recommend either Notion or LifeHack Spaces, especially since everything is online. If you guys don't use online stuff in your school, or you don't have access to your computers regularly at school and they don't want you to pull them out, I would highly recommend getting a physical planner, one that is very similar to the paper one I showed you guys. The paper one I showed you guys was the Elan Student Planner, which was an edition of HS90 edition. It's the green one, and it's pretty tall. I think it's around... How long is this? What is the length and height of this? It's a little bit taller than your standard paper size and a little bit narrower than your 8x11 paper size. Standard meaning 8x11. Let me just clarify that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more study videos or any other type of recommendations that you guys have on videos, make sure to comment them down below so I can get to making them and I can get to see what you guys would want to see the most. And yeah, I hope you guys will stick around as I continue to struggle through my last year of high school. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys found this helpful and would like to see more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!